98.7 is Wcxo, Carlisle.
This broadcast is a presentation of Wcxo Sports. Wcxo Sports. Since 1999, the sports voice of the Carlisle Indians, the Central Cougars, the Mater Dei Knights, and the Westland Warriors presents Talkin' Sports on Max 96.7. Talkin' Sports is powered by Hoffman Supermarket, the only choice for quality meats and friendly service. Talkin' Sports is brought to you by Munkin Dodge Chrysler Jeep Nissan in Centralia. Kaskaskia College. The future's yours at Kaskaskia College. Emin Insurance Agency in Carlisle. Farmers State Bank of Hoffman, Central City and Hoyleton. Diane Chevrolet in Trenton. McKendree University in Lebanon. Ideal Home Solutions in Trenton. Farmers State Bank Insurance Department in Hoffman. Seaver Brothers in Carlisle. And by Becker Jewelers, with locations in Breeze and Highland, and always online at beckerjewelers.com. Here's the host of Talkin' Sports, Rip Nottmeyer.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Talkin' Sports. Rip here in the Carlisle Meat Market Studio. Coming up tonight, we're going to have a delayed version of Scores and Stuff with Donnie Walker from Seatown. In the back half hour, it's time for some McKendree women's basketball chat with Coach Carrie Kirkhoff. And, of course, before our number one guest tonight, I want to tell you, of course, we always have, as always, we have the Easy on Travel Sports Flashback, and that will zoom your way this evening as well. But right now, it is time for some basketball talk on the Wcxo front. And on the Tucker Electric guest line, we go over to St. Louis for Kaskaskia Blue Angels coach Janelle Kuhn. Janelle, oh man, it sounds like you're in a good mood tonight.
Oh, it's Valentine's Day. How could you not be in a great mood?
And welcome back to Talkin' Sports. And well, let's tip it off on a real positive note with a word about Monday's win over Shawnee. It was a slow start for you after a period, but man, you lengthened that lead as you came to the end of the second quarter.
Yeah, you know, Monday night was, like you said, it was ugly at best, would be the best way to describe it. And, you know, after that 10 minutes of not very good basketball, we had that 30-second, little conversation. And I said, listen, guys, at some point we got to turn it on. And we full court pressed them. And, Danielle Dotson came off the bench from Sparta and knocked down 2 threes in about 7 seconds. And after that, Davia Boyd had a steal. And after that, things just really went our way. And we talk all the time about how basketball is a game of momentum swings. And honestly, without Dotson's spark off the bench, that could have been a really long and awful game. But fortunately, we got it together. And our on-ball pressure just really kind of frustrated them and made them struggle a little bit. And we were able to get some quick and easy buckets and sail away with a 40-point win, which is always fun. And actually at that point in time, really well needed.
Yeah.
Because we've had a rough couple of weeks.
But Danielle provided the spark, and then you took off from there. And, of course, besides her, and I believe another kid off the bench did well, but 2 of your very best players were your best Monday. At the end of the game, they came through, Jessie Key and Jocelyn Shepard.
Yeah, Jessie's been had 29 points. Jessie's been our go-to girl all year long, and she knows that. And we depend a lot on her for offense. We depend a lot on her for defense. When she doesn't have a double-double, I'm frustrated, which I know sounds funny, but she's capable of putting those numbers up at any given night. And the good thing about Jessie is this year she's really matured. Her attitude's gotten better. Her work ethic has gotten better. And our relationship has matured. Last year, anytime I talked to her or kind of got on her, she looked at it as me being frustrated or mad. And, this year she understands that that's criticism and constructive criticism. And, hey, I'm just trying to make you better. And so I was really excited and proud of her. She's had a great month, really, the whole month of January. She put out some outstanding numbers. And then, Jocelyn Shepard, who Jocelyn's biggest issue right now is where she's just a little inconsistent, but 23 points, I think 16 rebounds. She started out the year leading the nation in rebounding, and I believe she's still in the top 6 or 7. And that's what she's supposed to do. So once we get her some glasses, which just found out this past week that she can't really see very well. And that might make a big difference with her field goal percentage. So once we get that figured out, I think you'll see those kind of numbers from her all the time. So I'm really proud of both of those two.
Yeah, the numbers I have in front of me, she's still averaging a double. I mean, 11.7, almost 12 points per game and 11 rebounds a game. And then Jessie with 17 markers per count. You have another one in triple figures with Jasmine Hawkins.
Yeah, Jazz has been our most consistent player, honestly, probably since I've been there. Unfortunately right now she's kind of going through a little bit of a slump. But we've been talking about it 2 weeks ago. Shoot out of that. And right. She's continued to shoot the ball, and she'll get there. Jasmine's biggest issue is herself. And right now she's thinking a lot. And I said, Jazz, just go play. Just go do what you're supposed to do. And unfortunately Monday night she picked up 2 fouls in the first 3.5 minutes, so she had to sit a little bit. But Monday night would have been a good game for her to get back in her groove. And Jasmine will always do what she's supposed to do, and we'll get out of that slump hopefully here come Saturday, and just knock some shots down when we need them, like she has been all year.
With that victory, your record is up to 10-13 overall and 4-9 in the Great Rivers Athletic Conference. But yes, that win was basically a must for you. It definitely had playoff implications.
Yeah, for sure. We've been talking about that from day one. That especially when those teams are below you, you have to win, and those teams that are above you, you got to knock off. And we knew pretty well going into Monday we had to win. Otherwise, the postseason chances start to diminish pretty quickly. And so, our kids responded. Like I said, those first 10 minutes, they were brutal for everyone, for Shawnee, for KC, for everybody watching the game. But again, once we got settled in and let that press kind of, our defense became our best offense. And once we were able to do that and find our groove, it was pretty much smooth sailing after that.
That triumph did halt a 4-game slide. You challenged Wabash Saturday. They were a part of that streak there, and my goodness, it rarely changes really year after year. That is one tremendous squad.
Yeah, and that's what we talked about a little bit earlier. They're 12th in the nation, and that's what you find out how good you really are when you play those types of teams. And a lot of credit goes to them. They took us out of our offense. They pressed us, which we worked in practice all week with 7 people on the court, and we handled it. But when they get in there, their athleticism, their quickness, their size, we were girls amongst ladies. I always say boys amongst men, but we were girls amongst ladies that night. And there's a reason why they're the 12th team in the nation. There's a reason why they're 24-1, and we kind of gave in, and instead of going to battle, we got a little frustrated at the beginning of the game, and unfortunately that kind of buried us.
But are they and I might have brought this up to the last, I'm not sure, are they the best team you have faced? Is it Wabash or Vincennes? What do you think?
If I had to play them again, I play Vincennes every day of the week, because we can beat Vincennes. Wabash, we have to play our absolute best night, and they have to struggle. And that was our goal. Our goal was to keep them out of the paint, make them shoot the 3. I believe they were 3 for 16 or 3 for 18 from the 3-point line. So, obviously we accomplished that goal. But when you let them get into that lane, and a lot of those points were in transition off the press, steal layup makes the game a lot less difficult for the opposing team. But they're a good ball club. 4 out of their 5 starters are going D1. You have to know that you've got to come ready to compete that day. And they got us down early, and we weren't able to get out of the hole.
They're going to coast to the GRAC title at 13-0 right now, but Logan and Albany Central's at 9-4, Southeastern right behind, Lakeland too, so real battle for second. And Logan, now that's a team you clipped earlier in the season, and you played Albany pretty close twice.
Yeah, I really, that second game at Albany, when we played at Albany, I truthfully thought that should have been our game.
5-point loss.
a 5-point loss, but really probably more of a 1-point loss. There in the fourth quarter, we had 12 fouls called against us, 3 called against them. That means they're at the line a heck of a lot more than we are. They made their free throws when they needed to. With 16 seconds left, and I guess we were down 3 with 16 seconds left, and I've got 4 out of 5 starters on the bench because they have fouled out. So I've got some kids in the game that weren't used to being in the game at that point in time, and fortunately, we got the 3-point shot. Unfortunately, when we got that shot, we also traveled. Yeah. And then at that point, you have to foul to stop the clock and try to get the ball back. And we ended up losing by 5. But I told Clint after that game, who's a very good friend of mine, who I respect, with the utmost respect. I said, "We're gonna get you, man. We're gonna get you." So I hope we do get to see them again at some point in the postseason.
You have 5 conference games left to really study the ride, and if you can get some more kids to pitch in, you're gonna have an opportunity. Hey, Janelle, you've got to go. I've got to go. But you didn't have a chance to be there too long, I don't believe, Saturday. But the KC Hall of Fame ceremonies were done right again over on Shattuck.
That was a great ceremony, and again, kudos to Kathy Carrick and the rest of the people that helped out with that. But I thought it was really neat to have 2 women's basketball players and Cindy Hoffman and then Amy Freeze, I believe, who I actually, long story short, didn't know that's who that was until I saw her when I was at Redbud. I'd worked with her a couple of times when she was at Columbia on some PE stuff. So that was a neat experience, and I hope they appreciate it as much as we as the current people there appreciate and respect them and all that they've done for our program.
And Saturday, you're at Wren Lake College, so another big one for you. And hey, grab another one and another one. Just pick up that pace, and hopefully you're gonna go a little ways in that postseason. Get in there and make the best of it.
That's right. That's the game plan. And last year we upset Vincennes on their home court to continue the postseason play, and we're hoping to do the same this year.
Yeah. Speaking of Vincennes, there you go. All right, Janelle, appreciate it as always. Have a good time.
All right, Rip. Thank you so much.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Janelle Kuhn from the Kaskaskia College Blue Angels basketball team. So if you usually scores and stuff, but we flip it when we need to. When we have to, we will accommodate coaches and athletes. Donnie Walker's coming up next on scores and stuff. And then still later on the docket, it's McHenry women's basketball coach, Bearcats basketball coach. They both go by the same tag. Carrie Kirchhoff. We've got the sports flashback too. Rick Shipley encased in that. Let's take our first time out, and then it's DW time on Talkin' Sports. Farmers State Bank is dedicated to the communities they serve. They've been making home loans for over 100 years. They are and will continue to be a strong, steady, common-sense leader that's always focused on what's best for you and the community. And remember, Farmers State Bank has loan professionals standing by to assist you in making the right decision for your needs. That's Farmers State Bank of Hoffman, Central City, and Hoyleton. An equal housing lender, member FDIC, NMLS number 404955. Need insurance? Insurance you can really count on? If so, turn to Dan Imming at Imming Insurance Agency in Carlisle. Dan and his staff will provide you with the insurance coverage and service you deserve. Whether it's auto, home, life, health, or commercial, your choices aren't limited either. Imming Insurance Agency represents many outstanding companies, so get covered by the best. Call Imming Insurance Agency at 594-4536 or stop by 589 9th Street in Carlisle. Imming Insurance Agency, a proud supporter of Clinton County sports.
Planning a remodel or building a new home? Ideal Home Solutions in Trenton can get you started. Ideal Home Solutions has quartz, granite, solid surface, and laminate, with granite starting at just $49 per square foot. Ideal Home Solutions proudly sells Haas cabinets and specializes in custom showers, any size to fit your space. From tubs, whirlpools, vanity tops, windowsills, you're covered. Schedule a free in-home estimate today, 224-2500, or see their showroom at 102 West Broadway in Trenton.
Is the all-new Chevy Silverado the right truck for you? Hi, Colby Voss at K&J Chevrolet in Carlisle. The all-new Chevy Silverado has the comfort and conveniences you expect from a Chevy, plus the performance and handling you need. We have several new trucks to choose from, and if we don't have it, we'll find it for you. Stop by K&J Chevrolet and drive a Silverado and see for yourself what a tremendous value we offer and what the hype is all about. K&J Chevrolet in Carlisle, just west of town on Old Route 50. Chevrolet, find new roads.
Do you mind if I turn on the radio?
The music is great, and it doesn't cost anything.
It's Max 96.7.
Welcome back, everybody. We're up here in the Carlisle Meat Market Studio as we make our first turn of the evening. We've heard from Janelle Kuhn. Kerry Kirkhoff is a ways ahead. The flashback, too. Right now, we're going to settle on some scores and stuff, which is brought to you by Isaac Auto Body in Carlisle. See them for 24-hour towing and collision repair. And we're off for the Tucker Electric guest line again. This time for Centralia and Donnie Walker. Welcome back, Donnie.
Oh, thank you, Rip, for having me on.
Yeah, and we're going to get to some stuff. For the last time, we haven't had you on for scores and stuff for a while. The last time we had you on was to talk about the or the Centralia Hall of Fame, right?
I believe it was when Mouse was getting ready to go in. Mouse Garrett, yes.
Mouse Garrett, and that was all good. And I want to ask you about a very recent inductee to the KC Hall of Fame soon. But let's start with the Cardinals, because this is a day all baseball fans have been waiting for. In particular, when it comes to St. Louis now, their spring training their session has opened up. Pitchers and catchers have officially reported for workouts, and that's pretty cool.
You know, it is, Rip. It just lets you know that spring and summer is right around the corner, and I just happened to have it on the news a while ago when Yachty come out of the clubhouse, and, of course, I know it was tape delayed, but it's just kind of a special feeling. It kind of makes you feel, even we're not kids no more, it brings back brings out a little of that kid again in you when you see that, and you kind of start thinking about the smell of the gloves and, just all that stuff, and it's really neat. Baseball does that better than any other sport. You got that right, Rip. And there's something about, from the cold to the warm weather of Florida and Arizona and stuff too. But how the Cardinals will do, who knows? And it's going to boil down to pitching, as it does for just about every team. Most teams can hit, kind of like the Clinton County League. You need the pitchers, need those hurlers to come through, and I just don't. Anything can happen, but as far as I'm concerned, there's only one guy you can count on. It's Carlos Martinez. You have a lot of other ifs. Wainwright, Wcxo, Luke Weaver's going to be very good. Will he do? He only had about a half season. Michaelis from Japan. Who knows? I mean, it's not very steady in that starting rotation. Rip, I hate to agree with everything you're saying to make a show or something here.
No, you disagree.
The same way. I kind of felt that way last year, and you get that kind of the eerie feeling, uncomfortable feeling. They didn't go out and get people who they needed, and they needed a couple stoppers on that hill. And you're right. I mean, besides our, I can't even think of his name, Martinez, beside him, and you never know how he's going to act.
Carlos Clown.
Oh, it just looks like a volcano getting ready to erupt if something doesn't go his way. So I don't know, and you're right. With Wainwright, bless their heart, they still got a lot of money involved in him, and, he might be on his last leg, but, we'll see real shortly.
Yeah.
Because they're going to have to get out of the chute this year. They're just going to have to, because they can't afford to get, 10, 11, 12 games back and say, that they're going to make a comeback or get in the playoffs. That's not going to happen. Thank goodness for those 2 wild cards now, Donnie. Although I'm not that big of a fan of it, but anyway. Yeah. Well, it's all about money and getting those teams into the playoffs any way they can. So we'll just have to wait and see. Yeah, and of course, this is the way they're starting the season. There could be a move before the end of the exhibition season, of course, all through the season. So this isn't necessarily by far the way this roster is going to be set up come September. Well, they just said that today, just a few minutes ago, that there could be a major trade this spring, and so don't get too excited about things. If there's somebody out there that they can get, and they'll try to do that. And I believe that they need to do that if they want to be some kind of a runner later on here in at the end of the season and make the playoffs. They're going to have to do something. All they need to do is sign Lance Lynn. And I'm dumbfounded because I don't know where he's standing at right now. Yeah, well, he's still one of the many unsigned as far as that goes. But I don't know why you don't want to keep him. I don't either. But I tell you what, man, they are throwing some money around, aren't they?
Well, the Cubs did all of a sudden.
I mean baseball in general. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I don't mean the Cardinals, but baseball in general. And I would think that they would want to try to sign Lynn just because they know who he is, and
That's the thing.
Yeah, they know what's going on, what they're going to get.
And that's also incidentally, the Cardinals did sign Bud Norris, so there you go. But I'm always in that camp, and that goes from the major leagues on through high, whatever it is. Stay with what you know. In Lance Lynn, why do you? In effect, the Cubs just traded Jake Arrieta for Yu Darvish. Why not just stay with Jake? I think maybe for a year I'd rather have you, a year or two. But I mean, he's still been a pretty good pitcher, and the contract they gave him, I know they don't look ahead. 6 years for a 31-year-old who's been hurt. He's missed basically a year and a half or 2 years. He was a 10-12 pitcher last year, just under 4 that was his ERA, and of course he's a flop in the World Series. $126 million in 6 years for him, with nobody bidding against him.
I agree with you. It does not make any sense, and sometimes you don't know what's under your own nose, and I don't really know. I'm going to try to do something this summer I haven't did in a while, and that maybe it's follow baseball, I guess, a little bit more closely, because the last couple of years I really haven't, and I'm give me something to do, I guess, but I just don't understand some of the moves that they make and why they make them, but anyway.
Some of these teams make things far too complicated.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
See, now this is simple. Dodgers manager Dave Roberts, he says Clayton Kershaw will make his team record 8th opening day start. Simple, book it, close it, move on.
That's about right. I mean,
I remember many years ago, Donnie, when some reporter, the Yankees had just won another World Series, and some reporter was congratulating Casey Stengel on the great job he did as the skipper, and he said, "Yeah, I didn't do anything. I just wrote the same 8 names in the lineup every day."
Well, it's kind of like the days when when in the '60s when the season started, you knew number 45, Bob Gibson, was going to get that baseball, and that's just the way it's going to be.
Yeah. You know what? Back to the Cardinals pitching, and of course we had a little party. I'm sorry you couldn't make that night for Brian Eversger a couple of Thursdays ago, whatever. He's down there now as the Cardinals' new bullpen coach. Maddox and Gertie's going to be answering that phone a lot, and that's another thing. The way they play the game now, I'll always love the game, but it's not as good as it was. The starting pitchers, it's a bullpen game now, and that's crazy.
You get, they say 5 innings. I don't believe that anymore. I know I don't even think that they try to get a 5 innings where the guy can get the win, and it is about the bullpen anymore.
And how many good bullpens? And will the Dodgers bullpen do that again? Probably not. But if one team does something that works, then everybody has to copy.
Yep, everybody jumps on the bandwagon. That's true.
Hey, let's go to JUCO baseball, and your buddy and mine. Of course, we both know Jeff Jensen and his brother JR. Jeff got the call to the Kaskaskia College Hall of Fame Saturday morning / afternoon. That was a great time over there as always. And Jeff had a real nice speech, and you were given a nod there. And I know he thinks a lot of you, but he was well deserving of that honor, wasn't he?
Well, he surely was, and I know we had spoke before. I got a chance to call Jeff and congratulate him, and I say, young man, we're all getting a little older. But
he's still younger than we are.
Yeah, that's right. Jeff is a class act. His father and mother are too, and boy, he's come from good genes. But I started to tell you the story a while ago, and if you got just a second,
we do.
Here,
yes.
This is what kind of a person that Jeff was when I had the baseball team in '81 for Centralia, and they went up to state tournament. We were very fortunate that we got to take the charter buses, and of course they all had overhead lights, and we'd be coming back sometime from a pretty far trip. And I do mean this: we'd have 18 kids on the bus, and we'd have 7/8 of them that had their lights on, studying. Jeff would be one, his calculus or his physics, whatever he was studying, coming back. And I would turn around. I was a young guy, and of course I'm the head dog. Turn around, looking, and I'd come home and tell Mary. I said, you're not believing these guys. I mean, they're not just a flash in the pan here. These kids know what they're going to do, and a lot of them, they stuck by their guns and of course, become very successful in their lives. And Jeff Jensen was definitely one of those. He was a hell of a player for me in high school and quite a leader in 17, 18-year-olds back then. So it doesn't surprise me what he's done. And, you know, he's owned a car dealership. He's done a lot of things, but he's raised a good family, and he's just a good person, and I'm happy for him.
I know one thing for sure, Donnie, going back to the Carlisle High Indians days, there wasn't a book to be found.
Yeah, well, I think I told you if I wanted to bring one of those big, thick books, you know, and put it on my arm and look like I'm somebody, I'm sure I'd get a few laughs. They probably know the truth. But again, that's the character of Jeff and the guys that he played with.
Jeff flashed some nice stats in his 2 years there. 19 home runs, 83 RBIs. This isn't a 2-year JUCO career. That's just over 110 games, 17 doubles, several triples. I was kidding him the other night when we had him on. 7 sacrifice bunts, but he reminded me he actually had quite a few bunts for base hits.
Well, I want to tell you something. Jeff batted cleanup for me in high school. I know we're talking about JUCO, but Jeff batted cleanup. And there were several times, believe it or not, that I had Jeff lay down a suicide squeeze when things were really tough and on the line, and he was excellent at it. So, you know, you got a kid 6'2", 6'3", back behind the plate, 210 pounds, man, and he had a nice arm too.
Yeah.
So, he was a very good catcher, you know, and he knew how to handle pitchers very well too. But he was a good offensive threat to have in that lineup. I
have to tell you once again. We've talked about this. This is going to be real brief, but I still remember the time you were pitching for the Orphans against us at Carlisle City Park, and Coach Tip Taylor, who just passed away a few months ago now, he gave me the bunt sign, the sack sign, and I tried that once on you, and you threw it was a bullseye, and somehow I wouldn't say darted away, but I got out of the way somehow, and I remember looking down after I recovered. It was about all over for me, Donnie. We've talked about this before, but I remember looking at the third base coach's box for Coach Taylor before the next pitch, and he gave me that signing, and I called timeout with Arnie Wilby back at home plate, and I went down and said, I'm not bunting off this guy again, or trying to. Hey, you were whipping that 95 mile an hour. It was about 92 or 91, 92, and at delicate spots there. I just took 2 swings and sat down.
You had a guy that a lot of times didn't know where the ball was going,
and you threw really hard.
I used to tell kids that, or people that, you know, that as we turned into young adults, I said, "Well, you hit me, so and so," and I said, "Now, where did you go to school or what?" I said, "Believe me, I didn't try to hit anybody."
Had I tried, I might have missed, huh, Donnie?
Yeah. That's a good story. That's good.
And it gets more colorful away from radio, as you know. But the Blues, oh my goodness, they gave one. Actually, they were winning 3-0. I fell asleep. I woke up and they lost 4-3. Huh?
Well,
I don't know.
I heard the score this morning. You know, again, it's no secret. I don't know. I don't follow the Blues a whole lot. Of course, that I do. You know, cheer for them because they're in St. Louis, but. Seems like there's a lot of whining going on right now, and they either play real good or they play real bad. And I don't know if there's anything in the middle. Maybe there was last night.
Well, there were a couple of bad. You're always going to have. I'm almost tired, actually, of how people always knock these officials in hockey. I mean, that cannot be an easy job with the speed, the pace of that game, trying to make those calls. I mean, that's. I challenge anyone to do that if they can't. You know, if they could skate.
That'd be very difficult to do, and like I said, I don't know a whole lot of the rules in hockey. It's fast-paced as that's going, and blah, blah, blah. I mean, you do have the instant replay, I guess, but besides that,
which I
hate. You just have to go out and play the game sometimes.
They're still in playoff mode, and they're off until Friday when they invade Dallas for their former coach, Ken Hitchcock. The Fighting Illini basketball team has pretty much been idle all year. No one had the idea they were going to be this. They're 2-11 in the Big Ten, 12-14 overall. Really one win over a good team in Missouri, and that's it.
What do you do? I mean,
I don't know.
What do they do right now? I don't even follow Illinois anymore. I just don't. It's on right now. I think I told you I was watching Duke and Virginia Tech just because, you know, Kyle likes to watch it, my son, and I'll turn it on here every once in a while. I mean, he'll call later on, ask me if I watched any of the games. Sometimes I say no, but I don't know what to say about Illinois. They're not very good. But where do you go? What do you do?
It all comes down to recruiting, and this isn't going to help that situation either.
No, not at all. Not at all. Not with Missouri.
And quite honestly, Mark Smith from Edwardsville, he started out real well, and I know a lot of that was it came against teams that aren't very good, non-league and all that, but he's fallen off the map.
Again, I'm dumbfounded.
Hate to see that, but
don't know anything about him, how he's doing, and
just a freshman. But I mean, a lot of those guys explode in their very first year, and it looked like he might, but it's not happening. So we'll see if they can log a few really good players, and they're gonna have to. Missouri did win again last night. Some of the region teams are on the court tonight. Donnie, did you watch any of the Super Bowl? I saw none of it because of why. I didn't see any of it.
We've had this discussion all year.
We have.
And I've kind of boycotted a lot of the football, but I did watch pretty much the entire game. Now, years past, I've went to bed before it's over, but since it was a good game from start to finish, but I did. So I enjoyed it, and even though I lost a couple dollars to an old college friend, I was pulling for Philadelphia to win. And but boy, I tell you what, this has been an up and down year in this NFL, and like you say, without talking like there's an elephant in the room, for what the football players did and didn't stand to attention during that anthem, they lost me. So I just gave up on it.
Well, they could have the NFL could have done a lot of good in this within the last few weeks just by canning Roger Goodell's butt. Instead, they give him a long-term extension. It makes and the ratings are down. I mean, there are a whole lot of factors. And once more, they say, but the ratings, they're not down with everything. The NBA is high into double digits. College football went through the roof. They're not all down, and they're down because of a couple of and Goodell could have stopped this on day one 2 years ago with Kaepernick. Fine and suspend him indefinitely, which would have been at least for a year, but gutless. Oh, my goodness.
Well, I tell you what, I don't want to get your dandruff up, but
it always is.
No, it's really simple what to do, and if they don't want to play and do what, or I say they want to play, they don't want to do what's right. You can make it real simple. You don't play. But
that's not the policy. And so the NFL, they have no one to blame but themselves for.
Well, I mean, how many people? I mean, like the commissioner goes every year. It happens, and then next year it's going to be worse. He goes in front of the TV, the public, everybody else, and starts talking about the draft, and they boo him so loud you can't even hear who they drafted.
He's an incompetent, incapable, and ignorant wimp.
Well,
he's the worst commissioner we've ever had in pro sports.
I'm going to have to change there too. But anyway, you're correct on that too, Rip.
The Winter Olympics, I've dabbled in it just a little bit. I like some of that stuff. I only see every 4 years. Some of it drives me crazy, but all in all, it's all right. The time difference, which can be no other way on most occasions, that's kind of ruins things,
Yeah, I love to watch. I guess with they're jumping off the side of the hill. Right? I'm from the old school, but I love to watch them. The distance jumping, whatever you call it.
Downhill and alpine skiing, the jumping on it.
I like watching that, and I watched a little snowboarding.
Snowboarding, not bad. There's a certain element to that is pretty neat.
Well, bless your heart, I felt sorry for the gals the other night.
Wind.
Let's say there was 10 of them jumping, 8 of them fell down.
Yeah, the wind was just terrible, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, man, you can't help but think about your body when. At your age now, these young people are doing that, and I thought, oh my Lord!
I hope to catch a little speed skating when that rolls around. I've always liked watching that. I love hockey, of course, but I know I have the sport for you, Donnie. You would make a good curling.
Yeah,
I think you and your wife in mixed doubles.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that. Mary, let me know what to do. I guarantee you
2022.
Yeah. I don't know about that. And bless your heart, I know they're so talented, but the figure skating, I don't really get into that too much. I like the bobsledding, I guess.
The luge and those guys, the skeleton. My goodness, that's That can be a death experience. I tell you, my goodness.
Oh man, I tell you what,
you crashing
have
that
some
baby.
good insurance.
Yes. All right, Donnie, well, that's a good review of the Winter Olympics. I'm a catch. We've got another week and a half of that, right?
Yep, I think so, Rip.
Okay,
Yep.
all right. Well, thanks for your time today. Enjoy the rest of this show, of course. I'm sure you'll be listening. Enjoy the rest of the show, and while you're watching some college basketball, we'll talk. We'll look forward to tomorrow morning's trivia.
Okay, Rip, you betcha. Thanks for having me on, and have a good evening.
See ya.
All right, bye-bye.
Donnie Walker on Scores and Stuff. All that was brought to you by Isaac Auto Body in Carlisle. See them for 24-hour towing and collision repair. Isaac Auto Body. Check them out. The flashback is around the corner.
Insuring your home and auto with Pekin Insurance equals a sizable discount. Farmer State Bank Insurance Department may save you as much as 30% on homeowners premiums and up to 15% on auto premiums if you insure both with Pekin Insurance. Call Farmer State Bank Insurance Department at 495-2965 for details about multi-policy discounts and learn what beyond the expected coverage and savings are all about.
Not a deposit, not FDIC insured, not insured by any federal government agency, not guaranteed by the bank, may go down in value.
Seaver Brothers has what you're looking for. Take a spin with Seaver Brothers and drive home in your new or pre-owned Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, or Dodge truck today. Let Seaver Brothers give you the car buying experience that no other dealership can offer. Seaver Brothers stands behind their products and also has an outstanding service department with qualified technicians to keep your vehicles running strong. Stop by Seaver Brothers, 811 Washington Street in Carlisle, or call 594-2624 for your next Seaver Brothers sales associate.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-643-6931 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-643-6931 to take your call now. Call 1-800-643-6931. That's 1-800-643-6931. Again, 1-800-643-6931.
Welcome to our music warehouse. Lucky you're not the one who has to refile all these CDs. Playing everything.
You've got Max 96.7.
We have returned to the Carlisle Meat Market Studio. We hope you ladies are having or about to have a good Valentine's Day /night. The time is 6:38. The time drop is brought to you by Breeze Furniture, Jan's Uniforms. A local basketball note or two to add to the mix here before we rush off for the flashback and girls action last night. Playoff play, of course. Mater Dei, they cruised to the 2A sectional title game. They wiped out Vienna 57-30, but Nashville won't be the Lady Knights' opponent at Hamilton County tomorrow. Harrisburg beat the Hornets 43-30. Central bounced Columbia in 3A regional action. Faye Meissner went over the 1,000 points total for her career, and Oakville's off for the 1A sectional championship game in Whitehall. We're off for the flashback.
It's flashback.
Get ready to flash back with the EZN Travel Sports Flashback. Escape to paradise with EZN Travel and Breeze. Call 526-2201.
As always, Mel, we appreciate it. This is from April 3rd of 2017. Almost a year removed. It's former SIU Salukis basketball standout Rick Shipley. Chris Lowry, your former SIU mate, when's he going to be the head coach again? Or where?
You know, that's hard to say. And a lot of that is obviously hinged to the success of Kansas State. I think that what needs to happen there is Kansas State needs to have some really explosive success, because I think there is a bad taste probably in the mouths of many people on the way Southern went downhill at the end of his tenure. Some within his control, some outside of his control. But I think so having good success at Kansas State he, as the associate head coach, would get a lot of that credit. That would position him well. I know he'd love to get back into the head coaching ranks because he has shown that he can win and win at a high level. That season they were in the Sweet 16 against Kansas. That was a winnable game.
Beautiful.
And they had that game won.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, they could have been at the Elite Eight, and you never know where things change. You beat Kansas in that venue, and a lot of things can change. So, no, Chris knows the game, and I think Chris has learned a lot by going back into the assistant coaching's role. And so I think he'll do things differently if he comes back out as a head coach. And I know that he will get that opportunity one of these days.
Don't miss the grand opening of the all-new Best One Tire and Service in Breeze, now located at 13912 Best One Drive. Come see the all-new expanded floor design and look. It'll blow you away. Plus, lots of grand opening specials, including an oil change for just $19.95. That's not all. Register to win great prizes. No purchase necessary. And listen to this. Mention this ad and get an additional discount on the spot. It's the grand opening of the all-new Best One Tire and Service, 13912 Best One Drive in Breeze. You're going to love this place.
Companies are hiring again. That's good news. Bad news, you don't have the skills they're looking for. Kaskaskia College can fix that. KC's welding technology program can set you up with the skills industries are looking for. More good news, classes are available at KC's Trenton Center or Crisp Technology Center. Call Sean Morris at 545-3406. The demand is there, the pay is there. Where are you? Kaskaskia College, your future starts here.
McKendree University is a great place to continue your sports career. It's also a great place to continue your education. McKendree offers a wide range of degrees, including master's degrees in business, nursing, education, and professional counseling. If you'd like, you can access McKendree's quality education through the flexibility of online degrees. To learn more about McKendree, log on to McKendreeOnline.com or call 1-800-BEARCAT. McKendree University is ready when you are.
When's the last time you had your eyes checked? Schedule an eye exam today at Breeze Family Vision Center or Lebanon Optometric Center. I'm Dr. Claire Thorpe-Klinsky, and if it's been more than a year, you might need a new prescription. If you use a computer regularly or are suffering from allergies, those both can be causes of eye strain or fatigue. Schedule a complete eye health exam today to find out if your eyes are healthy. We may be able to detect glaucoma and other eye diseases early. At Breeze Family Vision and Lebanon Optometric Center, we examine more than just your vision.
We tell you our music library contains an embarrassment of riches. Except nothing embarrasses us. Playing everything.
This is Max 96.7.
Here we are, Rip and Company, held up, pulled up in the Corral Meat Market studio on this Wednesday night. Congratulations again to Daniel Lavad of Pocahontas. He won the Valentine's Day Trivia Prize this past Saturday, and it was a good one indeed. He collected for his wife's girlfriend. I don't know. I'm not getting into his business, but hey, it consists of a Valentine's Day plant from Judy Town and Country Florist, a $50 gift card from Gay at Michael's Restaurant in Highland, a bottle of Red Baron wine from Doug and Jody at 12 Oaks Vineyard in rural Carlisle, hair products and other products from Carla at Designs Unlimited Salon and Spa. He covered all four bases and more there. So congrats to Daniel Lavad, and thanks to all of our excellent sponsors for Valentine's Day Trivia. That was Saturday, and Val Day is today and tonight. We got a step away. Coming up, Kerry Kirchhoff from McKendree. If you're looking for Nissan quality, be sure to check out what Munkin Dodge Chrysler Jeep Nissan and Centralia has to offer. Munkin's has the entire field covered with a great lineup of Nissans, including Maximas, Altimas, and Sentras, SUVs and crossovers, and Titan and Frontier trucks. And you can relax when you shop Munkin's because you know you're getting the better deal every time, along with terrific service after the sale. For your Nissan, log on to Munkin1.com, or better yet, visit Munkin Dodge Chrysler Jeep Nissan in person, Route 161 West in Centralia.
Southern Bus and Mobility is your Brawnability dealer in Breeze. Brawnability features the broadest lineup of wheelchair-accessible vehicles with more brands, entry types, features, and price points than any other manufacturer in the industry. See for yourself at Southern Bus and Mobility why a new or certified pre-owned wheelchair-accessible Brawnability vehicle is the only way to go. Call 526-4131 or stop by just east of Breeze on Old Route 50. This broadcast is a presentation of Wcxo Sports. Wcxo Sports is brought to you by the Benoff Insurance Agency in Breeze and Trenton, Breeze Dental Care, K&J Chevrolet, Reverman Chiropractic and Spinal Rehabilitation and Breeze Motor Sales, Southern Bus and Mobility, Kaskaskia College, the First National Bank of Carlisle, Reekman Brothers John Deere, St. Joseph Hospital Breeze, Med Plus Physical Medicine and Brett's Wildlife Lodge, State Farm Insurance Agent Steve Klosterman and Hardy's locations in Breeze and Carlisle, Breeze Family Vision, Tempo Bank, Country Financial representatives Keith Wilkin and Teresa Richards, and area CC Food Marts. WCXO Sports since 1999. The sports voice of the Carlisle Indians, the Central Cougars, the Mater Dei Knights, the Westland Warriors, and now the Christ Our Rock Silver Stallions.
I'd like to start a campaign to blow the buttons off people's radios. Is that realistic?
This is Max 96.7.
Hey, we are back in the Carlisle Meat Market Studio on this Wednesday night, the midweek edition indeed. Every Monday and Wednesday night we surface from 6 until 7, and Saturday mornings from 9 until 10. That is year-round. Are you looking for an automobile, a pre-owned car, truck, SUV, whatever the case may be? You're going to find one at Diane Chevrolet in Trenton. They have your next pre-owned car, truck, or SUV at the right price. On top of that, all pre-owned vehicles, get this, they pass a thorough inspection. That's good. And most come with Diane's exclusive lifetime powertrain warranty at no cost to you. Nada. Simply see your consultant for all of the details. Diane Chevrolet's friendly, no-pressure staff is, well, they're dedicated to getting you behind the wheel of your dream car. There's Dwayne, Nikki, Dave, Nathan. They've got experience and they've got know-how. Buzz them at 224-9200, 224-9200. Diane Chevrolet, it's the home of the lifetime powertrain warranty. Shop or schedule service as well at DianeChevrolet.com. Here we go. We are off on the Tucker Electric guest line for the final trip of the evening. Let's head out for McKendree women's basketball coach Carrie Kirchhoff. Carrie, welcome back.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
We're catching up to you. I know following kind of a tough pair of days, though. You fell twice at home. Would have been nice to win one, if not two, but, hey, it just didn't pan out that way.
Yeah, it didn't. And we've been really stressing our defense here the last couple few days. Just with in terms of containment closeouts and being able to defend one-on-one. And the ladies have done a really good job of responding. And I think they believe they can win here tomorrow night if we defend well.
Yeah, that's the next challenge tomorrow night against the University of Missouri St. Louis. And back to these last two. I mean, hey, you want to win them all. And you definitely would have loved to have pocketed that W on Saturday. Two seniors on senior day, though, at the Statham Center.
Yeah, we had senior day with Abby Smith as one of our seniors and Shanira Wilson. Very proud of them in terms of how they've kind of helped change our program. And Abby is just nothing but a positive attitude and always has a smile on her face. And Shanira Wilson is a story in terms of just how much she has developed in the last 3 years and had a struggle year last year, but came in this summer and worked her tail off, and she's reaping the benefits of it right now.
Abby, a red shirt, correct?
Yeah, she is. You talk about a kid that has some toughness and persistence. She tore ACL twice, not once, but twice.
I don't remember that. Twice.
Yeah, I think she did it, came back from it, and I think it was a matter of like 30 days after her comeback, she tore it again. So she went through all the rehab back and everything, and she's done a really good job, especially these last 2 years, of just knowing what her role is and how we need to use her. And she's a great spark player for us off the bench. Yeah,
a lot of people would have called it a career after that. One's bad enough, but when it happened, and so quickly too. And it wasn't the case of it. It wasn't the case of her returning too soon, right? It was just one of those things.
No, it wasn't.
It just
that
happened
case.
again.
She took her time in terms of comeback, from the way it sounds, and it was just kind of a freak thing, I think. That
Saturday contest against Rockhurst, wow, you pretty much dominated the boards, especially on the offensive boards. Of course, some of that you just didn't hit shots, did you? Especially throughout, I guess, much of the first half. Really, 2 out of the first 20 plus.
We really struggled the first quarter. I think we missed our first 3-4 shots, and they were good shots in terms of running our offense and the ball being reversed and got it into the post. And we missed our first 4 shots, and I think they made at one point. I mean, it was only 5-0. It wasn't that, not that they were scoring terrifically or anything
Right.
either, but they. I think the fact that we didn't hit shots that we normally shot, it got us kind of in a tailspin, and we sped everything up after that for the next 6 minutes of the first quarter.
Catch up.
Yeah, we just talked about. We came down the next, couple times of one pass shot and one pass drive and shot, and it's like, we were trying to force things and playing a little too quick after we missed our first couple shots, and we just talked about letting the game come to us a little bit more and slowing things down offensively.
It's just a natural thing to do once in a while, though, isn't it? As a player, you want to hustle and get back into that game as quickly as possible and start scoring like you're used to doing.
Yeah, it is. And we do have a young squad this year, but it was a matter of that hadn't happened to us this year in terms of we haven't had troubles scoring. So when all of a sudden it happened, it just kind of threw them for a loop. And we just talked about, especially at halftime, we need to have better execution on offense in terms of waiting for screens and setting better screens and better timing of when we did run sets and everything. We did a nice job of that. And I never felt like because we didn't score, our defense lacked. I mean, we still stayed pretty focused defensively. It's just a matter of us, coming out and not shooting the ball well.
Right. Speaking of youngsters, one of those young players, a freshman, had a real good game off the bench for you.
Yeah, Sydney Dekoff has been a nice spark for us off the bench, and great for her to come in and give us a little offensive punch. She's second in scoring for us right now and is from Pekin, Illinois. And, she just has a knack. We call it the Dekoff luck because she has had situations that have happened to her on the court. And I'm like, oh, you're not in the right defensive position, or, not a good timing on a drive or whatever. And somehow the ball goes in the hole or the ball ends up in her hands. And we just kind of laugh at her. Like, sometimes, you know what? It's always that saying of better to be lucky than good.
Yeah, well, I think she's maybe both, and I think probably better.
She is. That is for sure.
Better on that good part. But 11 points a game, she's second on the club in scoring, so you have a lot to look forward to with her and many others.
Yeah, she has a nice game in terms of she can shoot that outside three, and she's gotten confidence in that. And now the last couple games, she's had a better attacking to the basket and able to finish. So she's a tough one to guard.
You have lost the last 3. The other one last week was against Bellarmine. I keep hearing that two different ways, Carrie. So, but now you're 5. The thing is, it's a 3. You need to bust out of this slump, right? And that starts hopefully tomorrow night.
Yeah, and we're very capable of it. We had a tough game. We played UMSL once this year already, and we led as much as 8 in the game. And then ended up kind of had a 4-minute spell of just not making good decisions on the defensive end or offensive end, and they got us back in that one. So we're looking for a little bit of a revenge factor, and
there you go.
We're excited for it to be a home game, and it's one we definitely need to win here, and just to kind of get us back up there in the top 8 so we can be in the conference tournament in 2 weeks.
Yeah, you go on the road after this. You're now 5-9 in the Great Lakes Valley Central, 9-12 on the season. You've got 4 more conference tilts on the horizon. UMSL leads that Central pack, and then there are 3 teams. I guess this league is really, really very strong. At the top 3 teams, Southern Indiana, Lewis, and Drury, all there with 13 wins apiece and GLVC action.
Yeah, it's never an easy year in the GLVC. That is for sure. Very competitive schedule every night, and you can expect Southern Indiana and Lewis and Drury always kind of be up there at the top. And even when we played them this year, I was really proud of how we played. Just some better offensive execution, and us, I think, taking care of the basketball will help us tremendously. throughout these next few games.
You say the top 8, Carrie, so do you have a pretty good understanding of this point rating system for the playoffs now?
I was hoping you wouldn't ask me that question. I do not.
It's, that's the only
for it. We're just going to kind of let it play out and see how it happens. But I just kind of look at UMSL and their record, and they're worth a lot of points. So if we can take care of business at home, that's a good thing.
That's true. They have 10 wins, so I'm sure that now I'm pretty sure. Well, it could have been you too, Carrie. Either you or Coach Statham that the conference may lose a team next year. Is that for sure?
Yeah. Wisconsin Parkside, the way it sounds, could possibly be leaving the GLVC. So I'm not sure what's going to happen in terms of next year. If they're going to add someone to the conference,
or you might return to the old setup, huh?
Yeah, exactly. So we'll kind of play that out here, I'm sure, through the spring and part of the summer, and find out here probably in the fall.
So what happens down the stretch here? Where do you need to shore up to have a real good shot of clinching and getting into that postseason tournament?
I think the biggest thing is we just need to have a better focus defensively in terms of knowing who's scoring and who's hot and how we need to stop them. And then I just think offensively for us is if we can just handle the ball a little bit more and sharpen up our passing. A lot of our passing lately in terms of our turnovers have been from post guard passing, trying to get the ball inside and such. So we just need to do a better focus on those two areas, and I think we can definitely kind of run the table here in the next 4 games.
Well, that'd be great. And while you're doing all of this, of course, you have to always keep your eye on that recruiting, and not only for next year but the year after. Are you on the right track there?
We are. We actually signed 5 young ladies here in the fall, so we're sitting pretty good. We actually have another young lady going to sign with us in April, so we're kind of complete for next year. Unless I can get my hands on a Division I transfer or something, I would love to have that. And then we'll be starting kind of at a 2019, so juniors already have been trying to get out and watch them in the high school season. And then it will really start come April when we watch them with their AAU teams in April and May.
That's a big thing, isn't it?
It's huge, especially at the Division II level. You just don't have the staff to go out during the winter time like you do at a Division I level. So the April and May and June is a big time recruiting for Division II coaches.
You might have been playing about the same. Did you have any kind of an opportunity to see some games during the midwinter tournaments over at Highland, for instance?
Yeah, we went. Coach Sample, my assistant coach, went to Highland there in January. She was also at the State Farm Classic up in Bloomington.
Oh, yeah.
And then I was over at the Visitation Tournament during right after Christmas. And that was a
those
fabulous
might have been
tournament.
the top tournaments, huh?
Yeah,
I know Highland's really strong, and I've heard about the one in Bloomington and Visitation. That could be the key one over in St. Louis. I can't remember, but that's probably why you went there. It's the tops.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, over there in Visitation, they have the tops of Kirkwood and Incarnate Word, and Edwardsville was there this year. And so it was some great games to watch and some fun competition out on the court.
All right. Well, Carrie, thanks for taking the time out with us for us again tonight, and good luck tomorrow. Let's reel off some wins, have a good stretch run, get in that tournament, and cause some havoc.
Let's plan on it. Thanks so much for having us.
All right. See you, Carrie.
Bye.
Carrie Kirkhoff of the McHenry Bearcats basketball team. Our thanks to her, and also to Janelle Kuhn and Donnie Walker for scores and stuff. If you get the opportunity, sneak over to my Facebook timeline every Tuesday at 4, roundabout. We post the Brett's Wildlife Talkin' Sports poll, and this is another good one. A lot of responses have rolled in, but there's always room for more. The question is as simple as this. Which of these former St. Louis pros would you most like to meet? In alphabetical order, last names. Brett Hall, Ted Simmons, Ozzie Smith, or Kurt Warner. And it's going to be interesting to make the final tally come late Friday afternoon. But some great remarks, responses on that. And they plugged in several on the other, which is always good. We can't post hundreds of names. They can put their faves in the have. So that's every Tuesday around 4 o'clock. The Brett's Wildlife Talking Sports poll on my Facebook timeline. Saturday morning, another Saturday. What are these? February is going to be. Saturday morning, 2 of our guests during the book, Modern Day Lady Knights basketball coach Dave Conan will be with us, and also on tap, Westland Warriors basketball coach Brent Brady. That's going to do it. Pray for Broward County, Florida. Florida. Horrible down there with this punk dead. We'll see you Saturday morning between 9 and 10 on Talking Sports, Real Sports Talk on Max 96.7 Wcxo.
Talkin' Sports on Max 96.7 was powered by Hoffman Supermarket, the only choice for quality meats and friendly service. Talkin' Sports was brought to you by Munkin Dodge Chrysler Jeep Nissan in Centralia. Kaskaskia College, the future's yours at Kaskaskia College. Emin Insurance Agency in Carlisle. Farmers State Bank of Hoffman, Central City and Hoyleton. Diane Chevrolet in Trenton. McKendree University in Lebanon. Ideal Home Solutions in Trenton. Farmers State Bank Insurance Department in Hoffman. Seaver Brothers in Carlisle. And by Becker Jewelers with locations in Breeze and Highland and always online at beckerjewelers.com. Thank you for joining us for this WCXO sports presentation of Talkin' Sports on Max 96.7.